Hey Gemini, welcome back to your October reading. So this month you're going to be focusing on hard work, planning, getting things done, but most importantly using the things around you to get and achieve the goals that you were trying to obtain. So in the past, we have the Devil card in reverse. So I feel like this is really just representing you going after something that you didn't need. You know, going after lust instead of love, or going after something so viciously that you're able to stomp on anyone around you just to get that. So that's kind of that's a lot. That could also represent like a boss or somebody in your life that has too much control over you, like obsessions over you. Backing that up, we have the Star card. So this could involve an Aquarius for sure. This could also have something to do with your self-esteem, but I'm thinking more Aquarius. I don't think it has anything to do with your self-esteem. Maybe you were going down the wrong road with someone, most likely an Aquarius. And this person is somebody that you felt like you put a lot of work into trying to make things happen with them. I feel like you sacrificed your own independence to try to be with them and to try to, work things out for you guys. But with the Four of Wands in reverse, it's showing me that the home life is not as happy as it could be. Meaning there's things that still need to be worked on, because the happiness that you seek is not necessarily coming to fruition, because there's so many things that you have to work on other than just what you thought was the problem. There's like deeper shit that you need to really work on. But I feel like you're on the right path towards that. But, Ten of Wands, you do have a lot on your plate. So I do think that you're trying to work on a lot of things, but I almost feel like you're working on so many things because you let so many things like stack up on top of each other. You know what I mean? Like you kind of procrastinated on something, and so now you have to deal with all of these things that you need to have fixed. You're trying to fix them, but you almost have to like sort out what you can handle at one time, because you waited too long to try to work on it. So now you have to really dig deep and work on everything that needs to be worked on. So it's not a bad thing. It just means you're going to have to put in a lot more work because you let things get a little too hectic, So not terrible. It may make you feel like you need extra help. You may feel like, no one's out there to help you. But I think it's all a mental thing. So who's a part of the situation? Who's going through this with you, Gemini? All right, so there could be a Sagittarius sun, moon, rising, or Venus a part of the situation. And what's the advice on how to move effectively in the situation so that you manifest, your greatest potential? We got Empress, Venus. So this card is all about recognizing your value and putting effort into making sure that you feel what you're worth. So that means taking care of yourself, not just taking care of others. It means really focusing in on how you feel, how you look, the things that you have. Do you have things that you want? It's kind of like catering to yourself so that you don't forget why you're doing all of this stuff in the first place. It's like, who is the reason that you're doing this for? It should be yourself. The Empress card reminds you to value everything that you are, but to also realize that the reason that you're doing all of this stuff that involves responsibility is for you. Like you need to remember why all of this happened in the first place. So just acknowledge yourself and try to cater to yourself if you are still dealing with this situation of things not working out, or maybe self-esteem issues, things of that nature. All right, that is your past energy. Looking at the present energy, I do think that it has some tie to what's going on, because the Knave of Cups in reverse is an issue with self-esteem, self-confidence. And this could also mean that you make bad decisions because you're trying to compensate for what you feel that you're lacking. So what are you feeling insecure about? All right, so we got 3 cards. The first one is the Queen of Wands in reverse. So if you're dealing with a fire sign, this could be saying that you're having issues because this person is putting these things in your head. And if it's not a fire sign, and this is talking about you, then this is saying that you feel like you don't have as much power as you used to in situations. I think you do have the power in the situations. You have the authority to fix things that you want, but it's almost like you've lost touch and lost sight of who you are in the situation, and so it causes you to not be able to grasp what's the problem and fix it out of your own willpower. And then behind that, we have the Two of Swords and then Eight of Wands. So I feel like this is something that you're battling in your mind, and there's so many things coming at you, but you're still trying to maintain the peace. You're still trying to hold on to whatever it is that is keeping you grounded. So let's see, what is it that's keeping you grounded? Because whatever that is, I feel like it's working, but it's a blessing, but you have to figure out like where is it coming from so you can really hold on to that. King of Wands in reverse. So this could be a fire sign around you that is, helping you get through this, or this is saying that you are having to look back on the things that you're most embarrassed about in order to see that, yeah, those are the things I have issues with, and I'm going to fix those issues by doing ... that the choice is yours when it comes to that part. But the King of Wands, I really feel like is representing whatever you're most embarrassed about, whatever you feel like you fucked up at that moment in your life, or those moments in your life. Those are the parts that you're really starting to work on. You're really trying to relieve the pressure of that stigma that you've put on yourself, or maybe other people may feel about you. It's almost like you're just being very transparent with yourself. You're really looking at yourself for what you are. And that can be, scary for a lot of people, because it's like you have to face what's wrong about you, the things that people might not like about you, but most importantly, that you don't like about you. And when you do that, there's definitely success that comes from that. It definitely improves the situation, but it's very difficult to get through all the nuances that are attached to that situation. So you may find yourself having to pick yourself back up. You may find yourself having to pep talk yourself back into doing what you got to do to get things going. But just know that's part of the process, because you're dealing with situations that are, less than you. And when I say less than you, I mean, these are situations that you normally wouldn't do. These are situations that you almost felt bad for yourself when you look back on the situation, because you're like, that's not how I act. That's not me. That's not how I would want to deal with the situation idealistically. So it's making you deal with the situations that most people want to block out and blur from their life, And so when you dig into that situation and you really try to figure out what caused it, what's the root, how do I, fix this problem, that's how you're going to find the real closure and grasp your authority back in the situation. I feel like that's pretty powerful. What's the situation that you felt embarrassed another person, or like who's really affected by the situation other than yourself? What sign? So a Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. It doesn't have to be a love situation. It can be platonic. It can be family. It can be friends, co-workers, etc. There is a Pisces involved in the situation. And so how can you fix all of the guilt that you may feel? Because I do feel like you have a little bit of guilt in whatever it is you're dealing with. Eight of Pentacles. It's an inner monologue that you have to start listening to. Your consciousness. You're conscious. And that voice is going to be guiding you to use your skills and your talents to maneuver through whatever soul endeavor that you have to get into. Whatever your next phase is in your life, your conscious is like pushing you towards it, but you have to start listening to it. And also with listening to that intuition, that gut feeling, that logic behind whatever you are, you have to apply the right skill and talent. And so to do that, you have to know what your skill and talent is, Gemini. Let's just see, for majority of Geminis, what is it that they're best at? Eight of Swords in reverse. I think you're best at making people feel free. I think you're best at showing people that things don't have to be so serious all the time. I think you allow people to feel like they're free from everything that they feel restricted by. And it's because you're so free-spirited, you're so flamboyant, you're so flirtatious, you're so social. You're so generous with your spirit when you're around other people. I think they feel that and they acknowledge that, and it makes them want to feel more free, more loose. And so if you can use that for whatever situation you're going through, so basically if you can use that and tell yourself, hey, what I'm going through is not the end of the world. There's so many other outlets. I just have to figure out which possibility that God has given me in so many different platforms? Which one can best fit my situation? And then, move on from there. What's the next best step for me to walk towards? And you don't have to have all the answers, Gemini. The whole point of this journey that you're on is so that you figure out whatever you need to figure out. But what you need to focus on is what's the next best step for you to take. And then remember that you are the trickster. You're the adapter. You're the person who can kind of be in any situation and feel comfortable because you are able to connect with any and everyone. You are ruled by Mercury. So tap into that intelligence, the mind, curiosity. All of those things are very important. Communication. Use all of those things and really go towards what you're trying to achieve, and it'll happen. So when we go into your future, this is a little sneak peek into your November. We have the 7 of Swords in reverse. So I feel like someone around you is being very sneaky, or someone around you has something that they're not telling you. Who is this person around Gemini in November? Who's being sneaky or conniving around Gemini? Okay, so we got 3 signs. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. And then Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Sagittarius, Scorpio, or Libra. What are they hiding from you? Queen of Swords in reverse. They're being distant towards you. They're being like kind of giving you the cold shoulder because of something that they can't get over, or maybe it's someone that you guys have in common from your past. They're still heartbroken by whatever the situation is. They still may have bits of revenge that they want to get out towards you. This could also have something to do with the Pisces that was around you guys. But I think this is really saying you have to stop and just let things fall as they may. There's people around you who may not want to see you succeed, but with the Hangman being here, it's really saying just let things play out, because it's almost like universe has to do its own thing. Because there's so many moving parts a part of this equation, it's best and most wise for you to just kind of slow down and let things happen the way they will. And those people that want bad things to happen to you, or they're not being truthful with you, it'll come out to the light. It'll show in a way that whoever is supposed to get the shorter end of the stick will get that, just by karma's law. But just understand that there is some type of shadiness happening. So we kind of already figured out what you need to do about the situation, but let's see if the cards have anything else that they want to provide as far as assistance for what you should do and just kind of need for yourself in November. A 5 of Swords. So you have to be honest about what's really going on in the situation. You have to be super logical. And when you're being super logical about something like this and it involves another party that is not being honest with you or something like that, or doing you wrong, those are the hardest situations when it comes to being honest with yourself, because you have to really determine, okay, does this person need to be around me anymore? Does this person deserve me? Do I deserve to be around that situation? So basically just look at what's really happening and be very honest with yourself, and then figure out, okay, this is what I'm going to have to do about the situation. I'm going to have to get rid of this person. I'm going to have to bring this person in. I'm going to have to talk to this person. There's many different answers to what you have to do, but what I need you to remember is to be honest with yourself about who is doing what, who's playing what part in the situation, and how do you really truly feel about what's happening to you. Do you agree with it or do you disagree? And then you go from there and you figure out, okay, well, what do I need to take out of the situation so that I don't feel that way? What do I take out? What do I bring into the situation so that I feel how I want to feel? Okay? I think that's the end of this reading. It was pretty quick. I felt like I got to touch a lot of base on a lot of different people that's around you in the situation. There's a lot of things that you have to work on, but I really feel like it's going to stem from yourself, Gemini. And that's a good place to be in. A lot of signs are going through this like metamorphosis where they have to really focus on themselves and like zen themselves and ground themselves. So you're not alone in this, but it's definitely going to feel kind of lonely for a little bit. But you can definitely get through this. You just have to be smart about who's around you and what you will allow to be in your energy, you know? But that's it for this reading. If you would like a personal reading, or if you want a different type of reading for yourself, you can email me at lovefromaleo@gmail.com. You can also like this video so that other people can view this, and you can, let YouTube know that you enjoy this type of content. Hit the notification bell and subscribe so that you are notified whenever I upload for your sign, Gemini, and also any other content that I have ready for y'all. And also leave a comment if you would like to see other types of reading, or if you want to just tell me how things are going for your sign, what you feel in this atmosphere, what you feel in this energy, because I would really like to tap into different people's energy to see, what's going on. What are their ethers trying to tell other people, not just myself. I have lots of other videos coming up, so please stick around for that. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, Gemini.